really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles. And I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful that we're able to have this much anticipation.
Amid the escalating legal firestorm between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, one surprising name has stayed noticeably quiet: Keanu Reeves. Yet, sources close to the actor reveal he's been quietly following the drama, with some even hinting that he's developed a genuine interest in how the explosive situation ultimately unfolds behind the scenes.
What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
Well, to work with Angelica Houston and Halle Berry, Mark Cat.
In the middle of the heated legal firestorm between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, one unexpected figure has stayed mostly silent: Keanu Reeves. Known for his calm, grounded approach to Hollywood chaos, Keanu's name hasn't been front and center, but whispers from close sources suggest that he's been paying closer attention than people realize. While he hasn't spoken publicly, insiders claim the famously private actor has quietly voiced concerns about how this messy feud could shape not only Blake's reputation but also Hollywood's broader approach to these kinds of sensationalized disputes. According to one expert familiar with Keanu's way of navigating the spotlight, he's never been one to seek attention but has occasionally offered subtle words of advice to peers stuck in the storm of public scandal. The suggestion is that Keanu may have privately emphasized the importance of protecting one's integrity, especially in a time when public opinion can flip overnight. Could his silence be less about detachment and more about carefully watching how the narrative unfolds? Fans are starting to wonder whether Reeves's next move, if he makes one at all, could shift the storyline in unexpected ways. But while Keanu remains a quiet observer, the battle between Blake and Justin is escalating faster than anyone imagined. Recently, Justin Baldoni dropped more behind-the-scenes evidence that's beginning to dismantle Blake's version of events piece by piece. What started as a few screenshots has now evolved into damaging video releases that directly contradict her claims, leaving Blake in what looks like the fight of her career, not for a role, but for credibility. The drama began when Justin revealed footage from the It Ends With Us premiere, showing him stuck in a basement, an incident that Blake had downplayed. From there, he released a photo verifying his account, then a heartbreaking voice note detailing his frustration. Now, the most explosive piece yet, a full, unedited video, has surfaced, challenging Blake's allegations of inappropriate behavior on set. Here's where things take a sharp turn. One of Blake's most serious claims hinged on a specific interaction she labeled harassment. In her lawsuit, she even presented footage of the moment, but with the audio muted. Her reasoning was that the clip had been filmed for a scene where background music would eventually be layered over, meaning no one could hear the actual exchange. At first glance, it left the narrative entirely in her hands. What Blake didn't anticipate was Justin holding onto the uncut footage. Now that it's out, the audio tells a completely different story. Instead of anything resembling harassment, the clip reveals the two chatting casually off-script, with lighthearted banter that doesn't align with Blake's accusations. In the video, Justin leans in and jokes, "I'm getting beard on you today." Blake laughs and replies, "I'm probably getting spray tan on you." Justin adds, "It smells so good," to which Blake casually responds, "It's not that, it's my body makeup." The tone, context, and delivery paint an entirely different picture than the one her legal filings suggested. What seemed damning on paper now comes across as mutual, unscripted playfulness between two colleagues. This revelation has sparked a wave of doubt around Blake's narrative. Her long-cultivated image of charm and composure is now being tested in ways she's never experienced before. Instead of tightening her strategy, her PR and legal teams appear to be fumbling. Rather than regrouping and shifting tactics, they've doubled down on positions that look weaker with every new release from Justin's side. Observers are calling it a PR nightmare spiraling into a full-blown credibility crisis. For someone once considered a darling of red carpets and Hollywood elegance, Blake's current portrayal is unrecognizable. Fans who once celebrated her are now questioning her motives, with many pointing out her history of positioning herself as the victim whenever conflicts arise. This time, however, the stakes are higher and the evidence rolling out against her is far harder to dismiss. Justin, meanwhile, isn't holding back. His attorney, Brian Friedman, promised receipts to counter every claim Blake made, and so far, that's exactly what they're delivering. Each new drop escalates the situation, forcing Blake's team to scramble while the public watches the unraveling in real time. If the trend continues, the next round of proof could completely collapse her case. For context, what makes this moment especially devastating for Blake is that her claims were initially powerful enough to dominate headlines. Sympathy leaned in her favor early on, but as Justin methodically dismantles her story with documented evidence, the narrative has shifted dramatically. Instead of being seen as a wronged starlet, Blake is increasingly viewed as someone inflating drama to grab attention in an industry where her shine may be fading. Meanwhile, Justin's stance is clear. This isn't just about one personal dispute. It's about protecting the integrity of creative work and resisting manipulative tactics. The way his team is handling the case signals a broader warning. Hollywood can't afford to let exaggerated theatrics override facts and fairness. The addition of Keanu Reeves to the periphery of this saga adds an almost surreal layer. His quiet watchfulness and reputation for integrity stand in stark contrast to the circus-like spectacle unraveling around Blake and Justin. Fans are speculating that if Reeves were to weigh in even subtly, it could tip the scales of public perception even further. After all, in a culture obsessed with celebrity alliances, a figure like Keanu's sighting, directly or indirectly, would be seismic. At this point, the question isn't just whether Blake can salvage her reputation, but whether Hollywood itself is prepared to confront how scandals like this are handled. Every new piece of evidence, every strategic silence, and every crumbling friendship is reshaping the narrative. And as Justin's camp continues to release receipts, it's hard to see how Blake can dig herself out without facing lasting damage. So, buckle up, because if the past few weeks are any indication, the next revelation might not just wound Blake's case, it could end it altogether.
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by
And boom, there it is. The so-called harassment moment Blake Lively has been pointing to. But when you actually watch the footage, it doesn't look like harassment at all. What you see is playful banter, two actors immersed in their roles, exchanging light, flirtatious lines that carry honeymoon phase energy. It's cheeky, sure, but it comes off as harmless, mutual fun. Here's the kicker. Justin's comments weren't even about Blake. They were about his wife. Blake chimed in with her own remarks, and the entire exchange looks like casual back and forth, not predatory behavior. If this moment is the foundation of Blake's case, then the ground beneath it seems shaky at best. And that's not the only inconsistency. Remember Blake's claim that Justin once entered her trailer uninvited while she was breastfeeding? Justin's team countered with receipts, literal text messages from Blake herself that read, "I'm breastfeeding, come over." Then there was her allegation about a producer showing her his biography. The truth? It wasn't a personal memoir at all, but an artistic portrait featuring his business partner and their newborn in a bathtub, a detail Blake left out entirely. Yet Blake still wants the public to accept that the flirty on-camera moment we just discussed was harassment. Things only get messier from here. After Justin began releasing this evidence, Blake reportedly reached out to the Human Rights Office in the Southern District of New York, arguing that his leaks to the media amounted to retaliation. She even pushed for a gag order to silence Justin and his team, insisting they were trying the case in the press. But pause. Wasn't Blake herself the one who worked with the New York Times to publicly drag Justin in the first place? Many of her claims have since been exposed as misleading or outright false, causing severe damage to his reputation. Now she wants to muzzle him from defending himself? If Blake is so confident in her version of the truth, why fight so hard to keep the other side quiet? Blake also alleges that when she called Justin out for inappropriate behavior, he responded with, "I'm not even attracted to you." Ironically, that line might reveal more about the nature of their dynamic than anything else. It's awkward, yes, but it hardly reads like harassment. And then there's more footage, the kind Blake's been complaining about. In one clip, Justin is multitasking as both actor and director, calling for breaks, managing takes, and steering the scene. Blake's lawsuit describes herself as visibly uncomfortable, but on camera she appears relaxed and engaged. At one point, she even teases Justin about his large nose, and they both laugh before he wraps the shoot, saying they'd nailed enough for the slow-motion shot. Viewers are now pointing out glaring contradictions between her claims and what's actually on screen. If Blake continues digging in her heels, she may need to rethink her approach, because the evidence isn't leaning her way. Take her body-shaming accusation, for example. She accused Justin of making inappropriate remarks about her weight. But context matters. Justin had asked a trainer about her weight before a scene where he needed to lift her, citing his own back issues and wanting to ensure he could carry her safely. That's not body shaming, that's basic responsibility. Meanwhile, Blake openly joked about Justin's nose on camera. So why is her comment acceptable humor while his practical concern is painted as an insult? The double standards are hard to ignore, and here's where the conversation gets even more complicated. For years, speculation about Blake undergoing rhinoplasty has circulated online. Observers have noted the changes at her nose, a narrower bridge, a more defined tip. Normally, this wouldn't matter, but when body-shaming claims take center stage, it throws the irony into sharper relief. Still, the drama doesn't end there. After Justin's leaked videos began gaining traction, Blake's legal team doubled down, insisting the footage actually supports her case. Both sides are now pointing to the exact same clips as proof they're right. Talk about chaotic. Blake's attorney even issued a fiery statement claiming every release bolsters our client's story and accusing Justin of staging media stunts to distract from the allegations. According to Blake's team, the footage is incriminating because it allegedly shows Justin leaning in, kissing her forehead, brushing his face and mouth against her neck, flicking her lip with his thumb, caressing her, and making unscripted remarks about how good she smelled. They argue none of this was planned or consented to, no intimacy coordinator was involved, and no prior discussion had taken place. In their view, the videos prove their point, but here's the catch: the public isn't seeing it that way. Viewers who've watched the same footage describe it as flirtatious, but mutual, playful but professional, with no indication of discomfort from Blake at the time. If anything, her relaxed demeanor and participation in the banter make it harder to reconcile with the narrative she's now presenting. That disconnect is what's fueling the backlash. On one hand, you have Blake's legal team framing the evidence as damning, while on the other, audiences are shrugging and asking, are we even seeing the same video? At this stage, the contradictions are stacking up quickly. Allegations about trailers, breastfeeding, biographies, body shaming, and harassment moments are colliding head-on with receipts, footage, and context that undermine them. And while Blake's attorneys insist this is proof of their client's mistreatment, the court of public opinion seems to be leaning in the opposite direction. If Blake's strategy is to double down, it's starting to look like a dangerous gamble. The more evidence Justin releases, the more her credibility takes a hit. Unless she shifts gears fast, the narrative may lock into place, and once the public decides someone's story doesn't add up, it's almost impossible to recover. Things are escalating fast, to the point where even industry experts are weighing in, breaking down the infamous scene frame by frame. And guess what? Most of them aren't siding with Blake. They're siding with Justin. Analysts point out that improvisation is standard in scenes like this, especially for a director-actor hybrid such as Baldoni. The forehead kiss, the face rub, the playful energy, it all falls within the natural rhythm of the scene. And then there's Blake herself, fully engaged, wrapping her arms around Justin's neck at one point. The script did include a line suggesting the characters should be talking, sure. But in film, the natural flow isn't just important, it's the entire point. Complaining about Justin's creative choices here is like being told to walk into a room and then acting shocked when someone uses the door. That's just how it works. And the kicker? No one watching this footage sees malicious intent. What comes across is two actors vibing on set, laughing, and playing off each other. The visibly uncomfortable narrative Blake's camp keeps pushing? It's nowhere to be found in these clips. If anything, the footage makes her claims look like a huge reach. Social media is eating this alive. Theories are spiraling. Justin walking away with a 9-figure settlement. Blake's marriage under strain. It's like a reality show, only the stakes are career-ending. Fans are split down the middle, half dragging Blake for creating chaos, the other half grabbing popcorn for front-row seats. And Justin? He's not backing down. His legal team keeps dropping bombshells, promising more. This isn't just tea, it's a flood. Here's the wildest twist. The very moments Blake labels as harassment, they're literally written into the script. Word for word, lifted straight from the book. Did she even skim the pages before signing on? Because right now it looks like she signed up for a role and is now trying to rewrite history. And let's not forget the premiere drama. What once looked like a minor headline now seems like the tip of the iceberg. Between the lawsuits and the spin Blake's pushing, she's painting a picture that doesn't match what anyone else is seeing. And the internet? They're not here for it. People are clocking every inconsistency, and it's making Blake's moves look desperate. But just when you think things can't get worse, more fires spark. Cue the resurfacing of Blake's rumored feud with Anna Kendrick. Yes, that's right. A whole other Hollywood rift is back in the spotlight. If you remember A Simple Favor, you'd assume Anna and Blake came out of it as ride-or-die friends. But insiders say the opposite. Tension was brewing for years. And it all may trace back to one comment Anna made about Blake's best friend, Taylor Swift, in 2016. In an interview, Anna casually said she could never pull off Taylor's perfect Miss America vibe, claiming she preferred sarcasm and cynicism. Innocent enough? Maybe. But Blake reportedly didn't see it that way. From there, things got sticky. By the time Anna and Blake were working together, whispers of on-set friction began circulating. Awkward press tours. Rumors that Anna thought Blake was impossible to work with. Blake, in turn, allegedly accused Anna of spotlight stealing. Their co-star Henry Golding tried smoothing it over, insisting everyone got along. But the passive-aggressive energy in interviews spoke for itself. Insiders claim Anna never forgot Blake's digs during filming, and Blake felt Anna was always trying to one-up her, on screen and off. Whether it was promo events or red carpets, it seemed like an unspoken competition. Now add in Amazon shelving A Simple Favor 2, Golden Globe snubs, and the current lawsuit, Blake's Hollywood world is looking more chaotic than ever. Pair that with Justin's nuclear-level legal strategy, aiming for $400 million in damages, and this battle could become one of the biggest celebrity cases in years. The timing couldn't be worse. With Amazon shelving projects and rumors of diva behavior swirling, Blake risks alienating both fans and Hollywood insiders. Public perception is everything in this industry, and hers is sliding fast. Meanwhile, Justin's $400 million demand isn't just about clearing his name. It's a career-ending move aimed squarely at Blake's future. If his team lands even a fraction of that, Blake's reputation might never recover. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's potentially the end of her leading lady era. Blake's camp, of course, is scrambling. They have to hit back hard, or she risks losing not only in court but also in the court of public opinion. Fans are already questioning her credibility, pointing to contradictions between her claims and the footage. The longer this drags on, the worse it looks. What's fascinating here is how Hollywood drama has outgrown the movies themselves. The actual film at the center of this mess has become almost irrelevant compared to the off-screen spectacle. It's less about characters and scripts now, and more about reputations, receipts, and legal maneuvers. So who walks away from this mess still standing? Blake, the actress fighting to preserve her image, or Justin, the director-actor armed with evidence and aiming for the jugular? Right now, the scales are tipping, and not in her favor. What began as a simple dispute over set behavior has spiraled into one of the wildest Hollywood sagas in years. Careers, reputations, and millions of dollars are on the line. And one thing is clear, this story is far from over.